Again, I'm Zhongshi in Beijing, and we want to take you back to Athens, Greece, where China and Greece are getting ready to sign a number of cooperation deals. Let's take a listen.
Στην Αθήνα επιβεβαιώνεται αυτό που διαπιστώθηκε και πριν από λίγες μέρες στη Σανγκάη.
Ascertained a couple of days ago in Shanghai, i.e. that the relations of our two countries are warmer than ever. The trust between us is a given, and our collaboration is open and it can be in many productive fields. Our two peoples are peoples of great ancient civilizations that have marked the history of mankind. And this particular relationship, which has been chiseled over the depths of centuries, was mentioned by President Xi in an article yesterday when he reminded us of the words of Kazantzakis. And I quote, "Confucius and Socrates are two masks covering the same face, the bright face of human logic," unquote. The first European book that was translated into Chinese in China in the 16th century were the Elements of Euclides. And it is with the same awe that we stand before our cultural legacy and these great masterpieces, whether this is the terracotta army, the guards to the tomb of the first Chinese emperor, or whether it is the charioteer of Delphi. Our civilizations, however, now take on a role that is very valuable and very rare. They're called upon to transfuse justice, measure, and harmony, I might add, in the turbulent international relations of the modern world. They have to juxtapose their timeless wisdom to the modern problems that are harsh, and this, of course, may lead to fruitful solutions, peaceful solutions, and mature solutions to the world challenges of the 21st century. With the minister, we had a very productive discussion on international and bilateral matters. I expressed our appreciation for the fact that China supported Greece when Greece was going through the economic crisis, and I'm very happy because now Greece is growing again. It is taking on a leading role in Europe, not just in our wider neighborhood. So I see, and this is my great joy, that we're not just partners, but we are actually expanding our collaboration. And this marks the important thing in the day. I'm talking about the signing of 16 government and business agreements between Greece and China and many levels and many different sectors. So this is a road that we've now opened, but this road will soon become a highway because our bilateral collaboration will become even stronger. A large part of our talks was on bilateral economic ties, and I'm really happy that the Chinese government believes so much in the geostrategic role of Greece and the geostrategic position of Greece. Today, we will have the opportunity to visit Costco's facilities in Piraeus, and then we'll be able to look at the further development of this very important investment following the approval of the master plan by the Greek government. And we have one common objective. We want Piraeus not just to become the biggest port in the Mediterranean, but why not the biggest port in Europe? And let's not forget that it is slowly turning into a vital hub, a transit hub between Europe and the Far East. So Greece will take advantage of multimodal transport, and it will become, Greece will become a gateway. It will become the starting point for the Chinese-European corridor, commercial investment corridor from Europe and to Europe, but also from and to the Far East. Now, in the financing sector, we'd like to welcome to Greece the opening up of an office, of a representation office of China Development Bank, and the opening up of a branch of the Bank of China. And we're also expecting, a representation office of the International Commercial Bank of China, which is the biggest bank in the world. So these are three very important initiatives which will further facilitate Chinese investment. We also saw that tourism flows and tourism exchanges can become more dynamic. We hope that there will be more Chinese tourists coming to Greece, and we set a goal that by 2021 we will have 500,000 Chinese tourists in Greece. 2021 is a very important year for Greece. It's 200 years since the War of Independence, and for China it's 100 years from the establishment of the Communist Party. And we also would like to talk about our cultural cooperation. We have the program of cultural cooperation. We have different agreements between academic institutions, and this is part of the Forum of Ancient Civilizations promoted by Athens and wholeheartedly supported by Beijing. But in the everyday world, we see that the bridges between us are growing stronger and stronger. We see that Greek history is being taught in large universities in China, and we see that more and more Greeks are attracted by the beauty of the Chinese language and Chinese culture. So these Greek and Chinese cultural ties become a vehicle of communication between two great civilizations who have left an indelible mark in the East and West. And this, in turn, this vehicle of communication becomes a creative bridge that promotes the understanding between Europe and Asia. And this is something that our world really needs today. I'm really happy because in this meeting with the President will actually be repeated very soon when I pay another visit to China in April to participate in the 17+1 initiative. This is a multilateral collaboration of countries of Central and Eastern Europe with China, in which Greece plays a leading role. And I'd like, last but not least, to thank for the protection of 6 national products. I'm talking about geographical indications from feta to olive oil to mastic gum and wine in the huge market of China, which is our friend. And this is part of the EU-China agreement. Greece stands to gain a lot from the opening up of China's internal market. We're talking about high-quality agricultural products, marble as well, but there are also Greek suppliers of shipping equipment that can benefit. And let's not forget that over 1,000 ships belonging to Greek ship owners were built in the last 15 years in China's shipyards. So welcome to Greece, Mr. President, and please convey to the Chinese people the warmest feelings of friendship of the Greek people, because we have a lot to say and we even have a lot to do, which will be to the benefit of our two countries. Welcome once again, Mr. President, to Greece.
Your Excellency, Prime Minister Mitsotakis, ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, it's my great pleasure to meet all of you during my state visit to Greece. Taking this opportunity, I would like to convey the sincere greetings and best wishes of the Chinese people to the people of Greece. Greece is an ancient civilization, the cradle of classical Western civilization. This country has an important place in world history. At the same time, Greece is a charming and modern country. Generations of ingenious and path-breaking Greek people have found a unique development path, made their country a leading maritime power in the world, and developed all areas of economy and society. In recent years, the Greek people have shown great resilience and worked hard against great odds to restore self-confidence and restore economic growth. As your friend, I'm truly happy to see all this. I'm convinced that the nations that have created splendid, millennia-old civilizations can certainly build a flourishing and dynamic country. Both China and Greece are at an important phase of our reform and development. Both sides want to build prosperous and strong countries, and all our people desire closer, friendly exchanges, more results-oriented cooperation, and the delivery of mutual benefit. This is also the trend of our times. This morning I've had sincere meeting with His Excellency the President and a fruitful and productive meeting with His Excellency the Prime Minister. We reached extensive common understanding on taking forward our relationship going forward. Both sides believe we need to maintain the momentum of high-level exchanges and approach the relationship from a strategic and long-term perspective. This year, His Excellency the President and I have exchanged visits, and we welcome the Prime Minister to visit China next year. On issues concerning our respective national interests and development interests, I'm sure our two countries will continue to understand and support each other, thus laying a solid political foundation for better ties. Both sides see China and Greece as natural partners for building the Belt and Road. We would like to mesh the Belt and Road initiative more closely with the development strategy of this country. We look forward to implementing cooperation plans in priority areas and to fully leverage the transshipment role of the port of Piraeus and to further strengthen the transportation capacity of the China-Europe Land-Sea Express Line. I'm sure we'll make the most of the Joint Committee on Economy and Trade and continually expand two-way trade and mutual investment, and to unleash the potential in energy, transportation, and financial cooperation. Recently, Greece was and is strongly represented at the second China International Import Expo. The Prime Minister led the Greek delegation, and Greece is ranked the second in the Central and Eastern European region in terms of the volume of transaction. Both sides believe that the rich and long cultural heritage provides great nourishment for China-Greece relations. As outstanding representatives of the Eastern and Western civilizations, both sides have an open mind. We champion cultural exchanges and mutual learning between different civilizations. Our two countries will host a year of culture and tourism in each other's countries in the year 2021, and both sides are prepared to strengthen exchanges on the teaching of our respective languages and to foster ties between our think tanks, to nurture more people well-versed in each other's cultures and committed to strengthening our friendship. Both sides believe we need to deepen the China-EU comprehensive strategic partnership and to strengthen the China-CEC cooperation mechanism. We must leverage the positive synergy of our respective countries' development for mutual benefit. We also agree to forge closer cooperation in international affairs, to stand up for multilateralism and free trade, and to promote world peace and prosperity. Confucius once said, "Virtue never stands alone. It is bound to have neighbors." Aristotle once said, "A true friend is one soul in two bodies." These are what unites our two great countries, namely equality, mutual respect, friendly cooperation, an open mind, inclusiveness, and a determination to forge ahead. These will also provide strong momentum as we seek shared development. I'm confident that with our collaboration, China-Greece relations will produce more and more bountiful results and contribute to our vision of a community of shared future for mankind. Thank you.
Ανταλλαγή συμφωνιών.
Συνθήκη
μεταξύ της Ελληνικής Δημοκρατίας και της Λαϊκής Δημοκρατίας της Κίνας περί εκδόσεων.
中西合作文本交换仪式现在开始。下面请国务委员兼外交部部长王毅和司法部部长齐亚拉斯交换中西两国引渡条约。
Κατάλογος βασικών έργων εντός του πλαισίου συνεργασίας 2020.
President Xi Jinping and Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis have just spoken at a press briefing there. We do understand that other cooperation deals will be signed in the witness of both leaders. We'll keep watching.
Μνημόνιο κατανόησης για την πρόθεση της ανάπτυξης υψηλής ποιότητας της αμφίδρομης
development of bilateral investment cooperation between the Ministry of Development of Greece and the Ministry of Trade of the People's Republic of China.
中山和乔治亚济斯部长交换关于推动双边投资合作高质量发展的谅解备忘录。
We do understand the agreements could cover fields like education, shipping, and energy.
Όχι, ξέρω. Πρωτόκολλο μεταξύ του Υπουργείου Αγροτικής Ανάπτυξης
between the Ministry of Rural Development and Food of the Hellenic Republic and the General Customs Administration of the People's Republic of China on SPS for export of saffron to China and protocol of SPS for kiwi fruit to be exported from Greece to China.
驻希腊大使张启岳和农业发展与食品部部长交换关于希腊西红花的植物卫生要求议定书和关于希腊鲜食猕猴桃疏滑植物检验要求议定书。
Μνημόνιο συνεργασίας
MOU in radio and other audio visuals between the General Secretariat for Communication Information of the Greek government and the radio broadcaster of the People's Republic of China.
其和国务副部长兼政府发言人交换关于广播电视和网络视听的合作谅解备忘录。
Μνημόνιο κατανόησης για τη συνεργασία
MOU
στον τομέα
for
του
cooperation in sport between the Ministry of Culture and Sport of the Hellenic Republic and the Chinese Federation of People with Disabilities of the People's Republic of China.
副部长交换中西体育合作谅解备忘录。
Μνημόνιο κατανόησης μεταξύ των αεροπορικών
MOU between the aviation authorities of the Hellenic Republic and the People's Republic of China.
局长冯正林和希腊基础设施与运输部副部长交换中西航空当局间谅解备忘录。
Συμφωνία για την
An
εγκαθίδρυση του Κέντρου
agreement for
Κινέζικων Σπουδών
establishment of the
μεταξύ της
Chinese
Κινέζικης Ακαδημίας
studies
Σπουδών
between the Chinese Institute and the Ekaterinis Laskaridis Foundation.
长谢福詹和希腊拉斯卡利德斯基金会主席交换关于设立中国研究中心的协议。
Συμφωνία μεταξύ του
Agreement between the Confucius Institute of China and the Thessaly University for the establishment of an annex at the University of Thessaly.
和希腊色萨利大学校长交换关于合作设立希腊色萨利大学孔子学院的协议。
Μνημόνιο κατανόησης για την
MOU
επιτυχή
for the
υλοποίηση του
success
Master Plan της
implementation
Costco.
of the Costco Master Plan.
集团董事长许立荣和希腊海运与岛屿政策部部长交换中原海运比莱夫斯港口有限公司成功履行比港总规划谅解备忘录。
Ανακοίνωση για την ίδρυση του
Announcement regarding the establishment of a representation office of the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China.
希腊央行副行长交换中国工商银行欧洲有限公司希腊代表处设立公告函。
Ανακοίνωση για την ίδρυση
Announcement
υποκαταστήματος
for
στην Αθήνα
the
της Bank
opening
of
up of a
China.
branch of the Bank of China in Athens.
和希腊副行长交换中国银行卢森堡有限公司雅典分行设立公告函。
Συμφωνία για την εκδήλωση
Agreement
ενδιαφέροντος
for the
επένδυσης στο έργο
expression of
διασύνδεσης ηλεκτρικής
interest
ενέργειας
in
Ariadne.
the Ariadne project, which has to do with, it's an interconnector.
公司董事长兼首席执行官交换关于阿里阿德涅联网公司投资意向备忘录。
Συμφωνία συνεργασίας για τη δημιουργία
Cooperation
του έργου
agreement
Minos
for
50
the
MW
Minos
στην Κρήτη.
50 megawatts project in
中国能源
Crete.
建设股份有限公司董事长汪建平和英国 NU2 能源有限公司主席、希腊能源建设股份有限公司首席执行官交换关于希腊米诺斯50兆瓦塔式光热电站项目合作协议。
Και δέσμη συμβάσεων χρηματοδότησης
And
για την κατασκευή έργων του
financing
λιμένου
instruments
Πειραιώς.
for the
请中国
port
进出
of
口银行董事长
Piraeus
胡小
for
链
various
和欧洲
projects
投
there.
资
So
银行
it's
副
a strand of
总裁
measures.
比港公司董事交换中原海运比港建设一揽子金融服务和融资担保协议。中西合作文件见证交换仪式到此结束，谢谢大家。
As you heard over there, a number of cooperation deals, agreements, and MOUs exchanged and signed between the two sides on this very special occasion in the witness of visiting Chinese President Xi Jinping and, of course, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis there. And these deals cover a wide range of areas, everything from agriculture to media to sports to education to shipping, energy, and banking, just to name a few. For some more analysis on this, I'm now joined in the studio by our current affairs commentator, Victor Gao. Victor, thanks so much for staying with us.
Thank you.
We were able to get a glimpse of what the President Xi and the Greek Prime Minister talk about. The Prime Minister, in his speech, gave away of their very fruitful and productive conversation earlier today. And here's what we know. They talked about bilateral economic ties, which seem to be high on the minds of both leaders. They acknowledged the geostrategic role that Greece plays in this region. And this is very specific. They want to further develop the Piraeus Accord. We did hear a very hopeful and ambitious Prime Minister who said, why not make it the biggest in Europe? Now the two countries have cooperated a great deal on this port. what potential is there for further expansion of their cooperation?
Yes, indeed. Allow me to start by saying that both the Chinese President Xi Jinping and the Prime Minister of Greece were very optimistic and very upbeat, and I think this really demonstrates that both countries are really on the right track for further expanding their economic relations and ties. Now, for the Piraeus port, which is already the most important port in the Mediterranean region, but is also further expanding with more Chinese investments, and I think the Greek Prime Minister is also very ambitious, try to promote this as potentially the most important port in Europe. That means it will be more important as the port of Rotterdam in the Netherlands, which is probably a long shot. But I think the aspirations are there. Why? Mainly because the Piraeus port is the closest to the Suez Canal, and there are lots of Chinese shipping, Japanese shipping, South Korean shipping, and Indian shipping, you name it, which will really unload a lot of cargo after sailing through the Suez Canal. And normally, before the expansion of this port, they probably will sail to other ports in the Mediterranean, or even through the Gibraltar Strait to other ports on the Atlantic. But now, I think there is a shortcut. That is, they can really download a lot of cargo which can be further shipped throughout Greece, but also to the Balkans and to Eastern European region or Central European region, you name it. And this will become much more efficient for the shippers, but also this will really expand the commerce in a general sense. Therefore, I think with the witness by the Chinese President and the Greek Prime Minister, this Piraeus port will have a brighter future.
I'm sorry to have cut you off. I didn't hear enough of that analysis. Victor, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate your analysis. And thank you for staying with us here on our special broadcast. I'm Zhong Shi in Beijing.